Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here because I got a story to share with you. I'm only going to take a few minutes of your time, but I got a story to share with you. It's a story of light. It's a story of courage. It's a story of I'm not giving in to giving up. I refuse to stop. The strength is in you to keep pushing through. That's what this story is about to be about. It won't take long. But anyway, my name is Cynthia Joy. I'm from Chicago. Everybody's heard stories about Chicago, whether they come from the movies, whether it's the songs, whether it's personal experience, but everybody's heard stories about Chicago. And I'm here to tell you, my dear, they are so very much true. They are true. I've come from that, the gutter, the slum, the South Side. Both my parents, not one, but both, were drug addicts. I lost my mom when I was 10 to stroke because of drugs. And I can say I'm so thankful. My dad is clean now, but nevertheless, as a kid, it was not rainbows and unicorns, period. Molestations from my own family, being pimped out, not having no food and no lights for days, for months, for a whole year. It was a struggle, and I'm the baby of 4. And I told people things, but it went unheard and unseen. And here it goes years later down the line, and I'm 31 and I'm cleaning up my house, and I'm home with my babies. They were 3 and 5. Left side went numb, got tingly. I had a stroke. Couldn't walk, talk, swallow. And of course, at first I was pissed off. But I used that. I used all that anger once I got it together, because it took for me to mentally process what just happened in my life. Because when you have a stroke, people think that it's a body thing and that's all the problem is. No, it's a whole mental shutdown. It's a disconnect. Things are not registering together. So I had to process everything that meant, but I used the molestations, I used the drug addicts, the death of my mom, I used all these things to strengthen me and say, I got mad enough and I said, well, why not me? Everything I ever been through in life has prepared me to get through this very moment. And ain't nothing I can't do if I believe and I put one foot in front of the other. I said, I'm laying in that hospital bed. Kid you not. I'm laying in that bed and I said, my baby saw me fall. They about to watch me rise. I went back to school. This is the second go around. I proved to myself I could do it when I became a preschool teacher. And now I'm in this joint and I'm about to do it again, and I'm about to become a physical therapist because I'm unstoppable. And people say, how do you find your happy place? Well, I'm going to tell you how I found my happy place when I tell you about my brown bag. Not my brown bag, my brown box. It's a little bit easier for my situation, but I find my happy place in giving back to my people, in telling my story, in sharing my smile, in giving my encouragement, and giving them a piece of joy. Because I don't have to pay for this. It's naturally inbred in me. It's the one thing stroke couldn't steal from me. I'm in the hospital and I'm drooling and I'm still laughing. And I'm asking my friends, is my face crooked? Knowing it's crooked, but didn't care. I'm laughing and I'm singing and I'm doing all these things because I had a moment and I didn't realize. You alive. Your mama died. You know that pain. You was 10 years old. My kids don't know that pain. And they were 3 and 5. So I got time to remold them and redo things a little bit. And that's what I did. Put my big girl panties on and said, we gonna do this. And I was like, well, what you gonna do, Joy? You gonna focus on therapy and that was my focus. But it got depressing because that's a part of stroke. So just going to stuff for stroke was depressing. So the happy place had to come into play. And I had to find the strength in me to push through everything I had to get through. And the one thing that I love, they reminded me of my mother. Come into that brown box. Bow. I love me some karaoke. Honey, you put me on the stage with some lights and a microphone, and you gonna either get some songs or some jokes. Cause I tell stroke jokes, I tell struggle jokes, I tell all type of jokes what I feel in my heart just because I'm alive. I embrace that moment. My kids got me in all of my graciousness. So I take it and I let them see what it's like to give back. So I go and volunteer at the hospital when I can and encourage other stroke survivors never to give in to giving up on themselves. And I do comedy open mics. And I find me karaoke to go sing because it lights up my soul. And then I make live Facebook videos that I sometimes post on TikTok and other places of cooking with one hand, dancing in the kitchen, just living your best life because everybody got a story to tell. Some are seen, some are unseen. People pretend, some people are open with it like I am. But nevertheless, there is a story to tell. And it's definitely something to shout about. That's why the mic is a beautiful thing. When you learn that you're alive and you embrace the fact that you still got breath in your body. You take it not with a grain of salt, but with a grain of everything. And know that you are unstoppable as long as you believe that you can and you will. So I've been using all of my struggles as hopefully triumphs one day to teach my boys that we can rise above and you are not what happened to you. You are bigger than what happened to you. It made you into your best self because you got to see how strong you can be when you ain't had no other choice. Some people fall short. They fall to the wayside. But that ain't what I'm choosing. I'm choosing to stand in my pain and understand there's a purpose for my pain. There is something for me to show, something for me to get through. My job ain't done yet. So I'm building a brand called The Strength in You. Because that's what a strength is in you to keep pushing through. Even with your religion, it can only take you so far. Everything can only take you so far without your heart. You got to fight for you and understand you are worth it. Anything that's worth having will be hard. So yes, it's hard. But the strength in you to get through it, ain't nothing gonna stop you. So that's what I'm building. I'm building. See my logo? It has boxing gloves in it and a human heart. That's what's on the shirt. And it represents fight lives in the heart of a survivor. Any survivor, not just stroke, any trauma. Because we've all experienced something that weighed on us and it didn't feel good to our spirit. And we had to learn how to cope. Or else we would have gave it power over us. And we refused. So I made little cards. Hopefully people can find me when they need a little hope. When they need a little encouragement. When they just need somebody to say, I love you, and mean it. Because I genuinely mean it. I love all people until you give me a reason not to. People need people to survive. I'm a believer. So this is my hope. That one day, Strength in You is something big. And I'm able to empower so many people who feel broken, who feel lost, who feel unheard, who feel less than. It's only a hope. I thank you for listening. That's my brown bag. You have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you. You're worthy.